Alright, you already know the name of the game here. It's Goosebumps generated by AI, and today we're going to be looking at several different covers that I found interesting. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Would these make good Goosebumps books? Night of the Pumpkin, and the tagline reads, "The hills will run red." Knowing that this one's about Halloween 3, we're going to kind of use the same plot premises. It's Halloween, and there's a new mask company that's making amazing new Halloween masks. They come in 3 varieties: pumpkin, skull, and witch. Anybody who's anybody has a silver shamrock mask. Now, in the movie, there was a chip on the mask that picked up a frequency from Stonehenge, which melted the kids' brains and turned them into, bugs and creatures. Instead, let's say, these are like perfected versions of the haunted mask, and once the chip activates, you can't take off the mask. Silver Shamrock's building an army of children that he planned to hold hostage for money from the parents. And contrary to the popular norm, I actually liked Halloween 3, so I'm going to rate this one a 9 out of 10. As the movie stands, it's too dark to be a kid's book, but it could be reworked into a very interesting Halloween tale. There's a monster in my wallet, and the tagline reads, "Check, cash, or fright." Alright, so this one's going to be about a new popular wallet that all the boys are getting their parents to buy them because it's a monster wallet. Let's go with the premises of Pokemon, you want to have one of these, and if you put them near each other, you can battle, and let's say they each have their own stats, kind of like rock, paper, scissors. Except this kid's monster wallet comes to life, and essentially the wallet becomes the monster. Then you have your standard children's book shenanigans where the monster runs around and causes trouble and the kid has to try to cover it up and not get blamed for it. And yeah, I imagine it being an okay read. I don't think it would get a sequel, but I don't know. I give the cover art 5 out of 10. It's not terrible. It's not great. It's just okay. The Ratu of Liberty, and the tagline reads, "France's secret weapon has finally woken up." Now, this one's fun to me because, one, a lot of people think that the Statue of Liberty was supposed to be some kind of version of the Trojan horse, and there's some kind of conspiracy theory out there that thinks it's like a super powerful robot just waiting to wake up. Alright, so in this book, there's a mad scientist. He uses some kind of frequency, and it changes the Statue of Liberty into the Ratu of Liberty. And said rat becomes a kaiju and essentially rampages around the city. How he would solve this problem, I'm not sure. I just know it'd be a very interesting take on a Godzilla story. And honestly, I'm here for it. I'm going to give this cover an 8.5 out of 10. I would definitely read it. There's a monster in my mirror, and the tagline states, "Something to reflect on." This could be a soft sequel to Let's Get Invisible. And even if not, premises goes like this. Kid's family moves into this old house. He comes across a strange hidden room inside the attic. Once he enters the said strange room, he finds an old-looking mirror. Upon investigating it, he doesn't see his reflection, but he sees a monster. And here's where it gets interesting. After he leaves the room, every time he looks in a mirror, all he sees is the monster instead of himself. And it just keeps telling the main character it's his turn. It's his turn to be on the outside. It's time for them to trade places. The book may or may not end with the kid trading places with the monster unwillingly. 6.5 out of 10. I'd read it once. Children are delicious, and the tagline reads, "Mom and Dad are out to lunch." Honestly, this feels like something that should have already happened in the Goosebumps verse, but we got a book about a kid who discovers his parents go out to lunch and they go to this very strange restaurant, which will have some kind of pun name essentially that alludes to the taste of youth. This book could take the Sweeney Todd approach. After falling on hard times, the main character's parents, who run a restaurant, start having our main character invite kids over for sleepovers, and then when he wakes up, the kids are gone. And throughout the book, each time the character has a sleepover and wakes up to find their friend missing, the parents always tell them something like their family had to leave town, or the friend didn't feel good and had to go home early, etc., etc. This is more or less just a soft play on that Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episode where the school was eating the kids. Personally, if I wrote this one, I think I'd change the tagline to "Stay out of the kitchen." But regardless, the art's not supreme, but I really like the idea of the story concept, so I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. And I would definitely read it. Something weird going on here. Tagline reads, "Wait, what?" And just from the trippiness of the art, I would say this should be a give yourself book. Let's assume the character goes to sleep, and they wake up, and they're trapped in this strange dreamscape where after a couple pages, you end up in a different dreamscape, and you've got to find the stairs that take you to the correct surface world. I could see them making light reference to Don't Go to Sleep, but yeah, the art's kind of weird. Color scheme's okay. I don't know, 5 out of 10. Not terrible. Not the strongest entry ever either. I'd read it once. Biker Bats, and the tagline reads, "These bat boys are out for blood." I could see this one being about a gang of motorcyclist vampires, and The catch is, they don't turn into your standard vampire. No, when they morph in the moonlight, they become giant bats. They roam from town to town, snatching up animals in the night. As for the plot, I couldn't tell you too much aside from the fact that the main character is obsessed with maybe motorcycles or bicycles, and essentially he opts to join the Bat Boys. And I'm sure it'll be a long, strange, twisted tale where eventually he gets his wish. The art's okay. I give it a 6 out of 10. I'd read it once. The spider thing that ate Las Vegas, and the tagline reads, "They're deciding it's a no-fly zone." Well, ain't that a knee slapper? Alright, so, kid's visiting Vegas with his dad on a business trip. He's obsessed with monster movies. He's given a supposed cursed DVD that contains the spider thing that ate Las Vegas. He decides to watch it when he's bored in the hotel room. Little does he know, he unleashes the spider thing, and it undoubtedly attacks a lot of Las Vegas. The only way to defeat it is by essentially finishing the movie, so yeah, I like the art. I like the color scheme on this. Personally, I think this is one of the better ones. I'm going to give this one an 8.5 out of 10, and I definitely read it. Practice makes perfect, and the tagline reads, "You better know your scales." So this one's about a haunted piano. It's a soft sequel to Piano Lessons Can't Be Murder. Essentially, a kid's family owns this piano, and every male in their family is forced to play it until they become an expert at it. Well, as he's trying to slack off and not play it, this ghoulish figure appears on top of it, and it's his great-great-grandpa who's forcing him to play. And he's told Grandpa won't stop following him until he masters the song that his family all knows. So, practice makes perfect. I don't know, I like the art. I give it a 7 out of 10. It's worth at least one read. Knock knock, who's there? You're dead. Okay, and the tagline reads, "I'm not here." Okay, a group of kids playing on an old playground discover a knock knock joke etched into the side of the playground equipment. And it states, "Knock knock, who's there? You're dead." When reading it aloud, they invoke the curse of the knock knock monster. And every night at midnight moving forward, they hear 2 knocks at the door. And if they ever mistakenly answer it, they end up dying. This one works better as art, or maybe there's a better story I just couldn't come up with. What do you guys think? What should the plot be for the premises of Knock Knock, Who's There, You're Dead? Comment down below and share your opinion. Regardless, I like the art and the color scheme for this one, so I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. I'd definitely read it once.